Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are in Wildlife Trek, my long-running franchise zoo here in Planet Zoo. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I want to go in and plan the new area of this zoo. Now we're still working on life in the plains. There's still a bunch to add here, but I want to add a new section, life in the wetlands. Since the Wetlands Animal Pack is a biome-based pack, I figure why not? Let's have that here in this zoo. So if you're not familiar with Wildlife Trek, it will eventually be a one big loop with various smaller loops coming off of that with different sections that represent different biomes. So first up is life in the plains. This features all sorts of different animals that live in the plains. At the moment, it's mostly African. We have our large African savanna. It's actually very large and kind of lags my game. We have Cape Buffalo and Nyala. We have lions. We have aardvarks. We have African wild dogs and hyenas over here. Still needing to add the southern white rhino, the meerkat. Basically everything from the Africa DLC needs to go over here. We also need to have a smaller loop off of this for the American Prairie section featuring our American bison and pronghorn. But before we finish that up, I want to take a break from that and start on the wetlands, or life in the wetlands section. And that is going to go right over here. Now, I was originally going to have this be the life in the desert section, but I think that could move up a ways. We're gonna run life in the wetlands kind of over this way. It'll be kind of a longish loop. So I'm gonna get the path in here, and in Wildlife Trek I use curbs. I don't know why. I don't use curbs in any other zoos that I build, but I use them in Wildlife Trek. We're going to continue that. Let's set the length to about 3. We'll go like this. We do have these corners to use to fill in. So we're going to curve this around. Something like that. And this is always subject to change. When I get in here and start placing habitats, if something needs to move, I'll be moving it. And it may go a little bit further off this way as well. So this is just to the left of the children's zoo. This features smaller exhibits like the owl dapper tortoise, the ring-tailed lemur, the koala, and then we have a petting zoo with llamas and female peafowl. So I think life in the wetlands will be a nice addition over here. Now, next up, we've got to figure out what animals are going to go in here. Now, obviously, the Wetlands Animal Pack animals will be going in here. So we'll have our capybara, our crane, our water buffalo, the lechwe. We're even going to put the platypus in. Well, I'm going to put a question mark on the platypus, just because they're so weird. I might put them in a different section. And then the small-clawed otter, of course, and the spectacled caiman. In addition to that, we have the alligator, pygmy hippo, the regular hippo, the dwarf caiman, and the giant otter to consider. From that list, I'm going to cross off the hippo, because that's going to go in the life in the water section, and the giant otter, because I don't think I'm going to use them in this section. And then it comes down to having 2, possibly 3 different crocodilians in here. I think I'm going to sub the dwarf caiman for the spectacled caiman, just because I want to use the new animal. But then we also have the American alligator, which I think it's a unique enough critter that I want to go ahead and get it in this section anyways. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 species to build for. And that's 9 including the platypus. So let's start laying out some basic shapes for the habitats to decide how this is going to form here. And to do that, I'm going to use this workshop piece. It's made by Forumtastic. These are size reference guides. So square and circle, 250 all the way up to 3,000 square meters. Insanely useful, particularly if you are like me and have no spatial awareness at all. I always build ridiculously sized habitats, as evidenced by the African savanna in this particular zoo, and this helps me not do that so much. Now, let's see here. I'm going to start off with, I think, this one here, and I think I'm going to put the American alligator toward the entrance to this. We'll have their pond be maybe right here. I'm going to use my letter pieces to kind of spell out, at the very least, give me an idea of what is actually going to be here, because I'm going to forget. I'm going to completely forget. I'll get this all laid out. It'll look great. I'll know exactly what's going here. And then when I come in to build, I will have completely forgotten. Probably could have just written gator. Too late now. Alligator. Alright, so there is one. We have our gators. Do we want to put the spectacled caimans next to them so we have a nice comparison between the two? Or do we want the spectacled caimans to be further back? We have our alligators. Let's also have the water buffalo up front here. They should be a not too spooky animal. They should be able to tolerate guests walking past them. Not sure what their size requirements are going to be, so I'm just going to go with 1,000 because that's pretty reasonable for just about anything largish. I guess, you know, what we could do is we could compare our grassland here. Did I forget how to spell African buffalo? Yes, I did. Let's see, what is our size requirement for these guys? 420. Okay, so I can't imagine the Cape buffalo will have a significantly larger requirement than that, so we're gonna go with 1,000 as well. And we're just gonna go with buffalo, because I'll know which one I'm putting in here. We have our alligator, our buffalo. Let's do the Nile lichway over here. Just kind of have them a little secluded. I imagine they're going to be a pretty shy animal, and that means they're going to have issues with guests and stress. Yeah, that'll fit really nicely in there. We'll kind of set that back a little bit. Let's see if I can spell lichway. Now, is it Lechway or Lekway? Because I've heard it pronounced both ways. I'm not sure which is correct. Alright, so we have those. Alright, so we have the Lechway, the water buffalo, and the alligator. So that leaves 6 more. I want to feature the capybara pretty prominently in this. Now, can't imagine that they're going to require a giant habitat, so we're going to size down. And we want them like right here. We wanted a walkthrough. You know what, let's put them over here. Alright, so we'll have the capybara right there. I'm just marking these off my list as we go along. Do our small clawed otter next, I think. I think they'll fit best right here. Otter. And theirs will be kind of a longish, narrowish type habitat right in here. Give them a nice stream to play in with some multi-levels. I'm already thinking about what this is going to look like. Fully fleshed out and complete. That's the otter. Let's see, what is going to be next? We should do a larger... Should decide where the crane aviary is going to go. Give them a decent amount of space. Even though our cranes here at Planet Zoo are going to be flightless, I'm still going to build an aviary style habitat for them. I think they'll nestle into this curve well here. There we go, so we have the crane. Alright, so we have the spectacled caiman, the pygmy hippo, and the platypus. We may actually be able to fit the dwarf caiman and the giant otter after all. As I'm looking at this, we should have plenty of room for them. So we'll go ahead and add them. Not trying to make Wildlife Trek feature every single animal in the game, but that's kind of the way it's going. Which is fine. I guess I'm going to continue this until my computer catches fire. Let's go do the spectacled caiman next. Why is my phone on loud? My phone should not be on loud. Let's see, spectacled caiman. I want it to be over here. Yeah, let's put them over here. That's not right. You know what? No, I'll actually finish it. This is where I forget how to spell. Expect, oh. Okay, there. That's good enough. Alright, Spectacle Cayman. Just looking at what we have left here. Could always shorten the loop down too if I wanted to. What kind of space requirement do the pygmy hippos have? 270 meters, so not a lot. We're gonna give them a decent sized habitat. I'm gonna duplicate that. We'll put them right here. We'll have a little indoor building maybe right in here with some exhibits. Our terrapin, the newt, etc. Just spell out pygmy. I'll remember what that means. Alright, so that'll be the pygmy hippo. And yeah, we have room for the dwarf caiman and the giant otter. Alright, so that'll be for the dwarf caiman. And then our giant otter can go right over here. E and R. Alright. So that is a nicely rounded out section. So this is how I start a new section or a new zoo. I'll start with these size variant or these size guidelines, lay them out around the path, get a sense of space, of volume, see what we have, and then label them with what they are. Believe me, I will forget. I've done this several zoos. I've laid these all out. Maybe I've written it down on paper, lost the paper, came back and went, okay, there's 500 square meters here. What the heck was I going to put there? And just having no idea of where to go. So one more thing I'm going to do. I was going to have a stupid gondola. We're not going to have the stupid gondola. I'm going to make it go away because I just don't ever want to build a transport rider. I've tried and tried and tried and tried, and I hate them all. So I'm not using them ever. Alright, this is what I was going to take a look at, how I did the life in the plains sign. I want to do a nice sign for our life in the wetlands. I'm going to bring this over here. And I do have this in pause mode, just because my frame rates are so much better when it's in pause. Ooh, that's too big. Could call this life in the swamp, but I think wetland is a prettier word. And S. Okay, there we go. Get rid of that. Now I want to get rid of the African theming here. And let's look at our props and see what we have. Now I know we're not getting any new scenery pieces, so we have to use what we already have. Ooh. Okay, those are a possibility. Let's get rid of blueprints here. These are modded pieces I'm not going to use. No, that won't work. We want to go with just straight up log wall logs. Yeah, I think. Alright, already starting to look better. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, these will work. kind of viney looking. That did not quite line up the way I wanted it to. No, that's all right. That could be a little bit off. No, that won't work. What do I want to use in this section here? Yeah, that might work, and I don't think I've ever used these pieces before. Alright, let's go like that. That looks good. Now, let's drape this in ivy. Alright, that looks pretty good. So we now have a sign for our entrance to our wetlands area. Yeah, we'll have this be like an offshoot. There we are. And that is the sign and the layout for the wetlands section of Wildlife Trek. So I do hope you guys have found this interesting, something a little bit different than building. If you did, please leave it a like, comment down below, let me know what you think. How do you plan your own zoos? Is there any particular method you like to employ? Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the bell notification if you'd like to be notified when I post a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.